another episode of metal detecting genealogy. Today I am at the property of Bela Birdsall. Yeah, there was a guy named Bela that lived here in 1912. So here I am at the farm. Let me show you the very first thing that I found. I was walking through the woods with all my gear over my shoulder, and I saw something that was completely out of place. I saw this thing right here. It's a steel enameled pot, but that tipped me off. And when I saw that, I said, uh-oh, this could be it. So I started to just look around to see if there's anything else, and I saw this white thing, which was also out of place. And it turned out to be some kind of stone crockery. So I got the metal detector out, and I started to detecting, and I heard high tones everywhere. Something right here. Yeah. So mason jars aren't that exciting, mason jar lids aren't that exciting, but these are definitely old, and mason jar lids, they point the way towards bottles. Now this is a beautiful, wonderful find for me, and I just uncovered it. It's a corktop Watkins in good, what's that? In good condition. Oh wow, what's that? Something's weird about this right here. This is older than what I thought. It's a Watkins cough syrup, and it looks like it's blown in the mold. That would be 1900, just flat 1900. That's something, there's something about this, I don't know. This is M&M malted milk from Wisconsin. These are great finds, considering that they're both, God, they have that wonderful purple color. I just love that, because that's old. Bela Birdsall, he bought this place, 1907 probably, and he lived here for a couple years. He was a contractor. He used to buy properties, build houses, and sell them. And he also used to dig ditches for the city, which is the nearest city's over that way, about 5 miles. How did he dig ditches? They must have had some steam-powered equipment back in 1912 that would do that. Check this out. I sincerely wish that this wasn't broken. Think that was a gallon full of whiskey, maybe? Could have been cider. Could have been apple cider. Back in 1912, well, the teens, Bela Birdsall was part of a card club, and the club was called the 500 Club. And what it was is you would go to different houses and you would play this card game called 500, and it was like a tournament. And so every month or every week they would pick a new house, and the card club would play the game there, and I guess the host would entertain the guests and feed everybody. And I imagine that they drank, at the 500 Club. There's probably people smoking. The men smoked back then, and drinking and playing cards. So that's what people did before social media. This looks like a handle, some type of handle for, I don't know. It's probably not something that's really heavy, like a big jug or something, because I can't fit my hand in there. It's probably just a little tiny little drawer pull. Mason jar lids are excellent indicators. And this one doesn't say ball on it, which is good. Very good sign. I also found this nice bottle. And this is a nice pharmacy bottle. And this is the one that says quality and purity on it. I don't know how old it is, but it's a nice cork top. I was over here randomly digging, and then I felt that I was kneeling on something. So I looked to see what it was, and it's a nice bottle. I don't know about this one. This one looks pretty old too. The color is this aqua blue. It's beautiful, really. I never would have found this without looking at mason jar lids. They're such great indicators. Watch how far away this mason jar registers. 2 feet. This thing can tell. They're like little satellite dishes that just let you know exactly where to dig.
Bella. 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 Bella.
Lots of broken glass here. I've been kneeling in it all day. Mostly mason jars and cough syrup. So somebody did a lot of canning. I know he was married. He had a wife, definitely. You can see that on the census. So maybe she was the one that did the canning. So, but here's something different. It looks like it says 87. You think that's 1887? Could be. Here we see a great bottle. It is a handmade, blown in the mold Watkins from about 1900. And it's tinted purple in the sun. You probably can't see it, but I can see it. This example is in mint condition. It's just absolutely flawless, and I was very fortunate to find it. And I wouldn't have found it without chasing after these mason jar lids. These mason jar lids were scattered all over the place in a dump that had long since sank into the ground. I never would have known about this. I never would have known this bottle was here unless I was chasing mason jar lids. These lids right here were probably made around the same time period, and they're Boyd genuine caps for mason jars. Bela Sheridan Birdsall. He lived a quiet yet industrious life as indicated by his infrequent appearance in the local newspaper, as well as his employment in the federal census listed as both a contractor and carpenter. Born in 1867 to Civil War veteran Charles H. Birdsall, he was but 3 years old in the census of 1870. Little is known about his early life other than possibly working in his father's hardware trade. Being the son of a returning Civil War soldier had its advantages, as he was 47 years old the time the next draft happened in 1914, World War I. He graduated in the class of 1887 as a 20-year-old man. 8 years later, he married a girl from the neighboring town, Dorothy. What little we know about Bela Birdsall came from newspaper articles in a local newspaper. In 1907, Bela purchased a property out in the country, and you can see his name on this map from 1912, albeit misspelled, and it was here that him and his wife frequently had parties. They were part of the 500 Club, which was a common card game played at that time. Members of the club would host guests, have card tournaments, and wine and dine, smoke and drink the night away, and their card tournament results were posted in a local newspaper. Here in 1907, you see that he bought property and sold it for $850. In 1909, Bela and his brother Walter boarded a train headed to Chicago to see a medical specialist. While there, the specialist gave the brothers all types of encouragement, stating that a cure would eventually be found for Walter's affliction. In 1910, he appears on the federal census as a carpenter. In 1914, a news article was posted saying that the foundation for his new house was ready to be built on in the neighboring town. In 1916, he was chosen as an officer for an organization called Sons of Veterans. In 1917, his father and Civil War soldier, Charles Birdsall, passed away in the state of Virginia at 88 years old. In 1917, he attended his class reunion where classmates were described as scattered like roses in bloom. 1922 was the last time that he appeared in print as an elected officer of a local fraternity called the Woodmen. In 1933, Bela Sheridan Birdsall passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage, most likely from high blood pressure, which ran in the family. His father's cause of death was also listed as arterial sclerosis. And that's the story of Bela Birdsall. Now, most of what I found when I was metal detecting was tobacco tins and broken cough syrup bottle. Now, the J.R. Watkins Medicine Company made everything that you could put in a bottle, but the fact that I found so many tobacco tins and so many bottles leads me to believe that there really was a dependency issue here. One of their most popular products was a type of cough syrup that had alcohol, heroin, and chloroform. Chloroform being a very dangerous painkiller of that period.